All right, if you've ever worked with data in the real world, you know the feeling. It can be pure chaos. Well, today we're going to crack open the ultimate toolbox for taming that mess, the incredible Python library, Pandas. Let's dive right in.
I mean, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You open up a file, and bam, you're just staring at this wall of disorganized information. It's totally overwhelming, and you're just thinking, okay, where on earth do I even begin with this?
It's this jumble of numbers, text, weird codes, and, oh yeah, my personal favorite, all those empty cells. Honestly, it feels less like a data set and more like a jigsaw puzzle that someone's already looted for all the good pieces.
Well, that exact moment of frustration, that's where Pandas comes into the picture. You can think of it as the perfect custom-built toolbox designed specifically to sort out this exact kind of mess.
So, what is Pandas really? At its core, it's a free, open-source library that you plug into Python. And it was built from the ground up for one reason, to make handling and analyzing data not just possible, but actually really, really fast and efficient.
And here's a quick fun fact for you. The name Pandas has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with the cute black and white bear. It actually comes from the term panel data, which is just a way of describing data sets that track the same things over multiple time periods. Kind of hints at how powerful it is for complex real-world info, right?
Okay, so in every great toolbox, there's that one tool you're always reaching for, your go-to. For Pandas, that tool is, without a doubt, the data frame. It is the absolute heart and soul of this entire library.
And, when you first look at one, it's going to seem super familiar. It looks just like a table, something out of a spreadsheet, with neat rows and columns. But trust me on this, it is so much more powerful. It's like a spreadsheet on steroids.
So, to get just a little bit technical, a data frame is a two-dimensional data structure. Just think of it this way. The columns are your variables, things like product, region, or sales. And then each row is just one single observation or record. It's this simple structure that makes working with your data so intuitive.
But what's really amazing here is the flexibility. One single data frame can hold pretty much anything you throw at it all mixed together. You can have columns with numbers, columns with text, dates, you name it. And that is absolutely crucial, because let's be honest, real-world data is never neat and tidy.
All right, so we've got our toolbox and we've got our main tool. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's unlock some of its data superpowers. And I'm not just talking about features here. These are straight-up game changers that will completely transform the way you handle data.
First up, superpower number 1, the vanishing act. This is basically a magic trick for one of the biggest headaches in all of data analysis, missing data. Pandas handles it beautifully. So look at this. On the one hand, you've got this messy column, just riddled with those empty spots, what we call NaN values. But then, on the other side, with literally just one line of Pandas code, you get a clean, usable data set. And this is so much more than just tidying up. It's about making sure your analysis is actually correct. Because you know the saying, garbage in, garbage out.
And the best part is, you've got options. You can choose to fill in those gaps with a simple value, like 0. Or you can get fancy and use a smart technique like interpolation to make an educated guess. And hey, if a row's just too messy, you can just drop it entirely. You have total control.
Okay, on to superpower number 2, the master organizer. This is the one that lets you stop staring at tiny individual data points and start seeing the big picture. And this is where Pandas, with its group by function, really shines.
It boils down to this really elegant three-step idea. Split, apply, combine. First, you split your data into different groups based on whatever you want, say by sales region. Then you apply some function to each of those groups, like calculating the total sales. And finally, you combine all those results back together into a brand new, super insightful summary table. It's an unbelievably powerful way to slice and dice your data.
All right, our third superpower is what I like to call the universal adapter. I mean, think about it. Data is everywhere, and it's stored in a million different formats. You need a tool that can speak all those languages, and believe me, Pandas is practically a polyglot.
Now, seriously, just look at this list. We're talking everything from your basic CSV and Excel files all the way to pulling data from SQL databases. Working with JSON, high-performance formats like Parquet, you can even scrape tables directly off of websites. Pandas can read data in from all of these and write it back out, making it the true central hub for your entire workflow.
So, these superpowers are awesome on their own, right? But how do they actually fit together in the real world? Let's take a quick look at what a typical data analysis project looks like with Pandas.
This is pretty much the classic workflow. Step 1, you import your data, using that universal adapter we just talked about. Step 2, you get your hands dirty, cleaning and transforming it using the Vanishing Act and Master Organizer. Then, once it's clean, you can actually analyze it to find insights. And finally, you prep it to be turned into graphs and charts. Pandas is the engine driving this whole thing, from start to finish.
And that last point is actually super important. Because as amazing as Pandas is on its own, its true power gets unlocked when you see it as part of a bigger workshop, the whole Python data science ecosystem. See, Pandas doesn't work alone. It's a team player. It fits perfectly with other libraries like NumPy, which handles all the heavy-duty number crunching. It works with Matplotlib and Seaborn, which are the go-tos for making beautiful visualizations. And it's almost always used inside something called a Jupyter Notebook, which gives you this awesome interactive way to code and see your results. All of them together, they create a complete environment for literally any data task you can think of.
So where does Pandas go from here? Well, the future is all about two things: speed and scale. For a long time, data analysis has run on your computer's CPU, which is like a very focused worker that does one task at a time very well. But now we're looking at GPUs, the things that power video games. They're like an army of workers that can do thousands of tasks all at the same time.
And that, my friends, is a complete revolution for data analysis. By harnessing the power of GPUs, new tools are basically supercharging Pandas. They're letting it absolutely tear through massive data sets, the kind of data sets that used to feel impossible to work with, and they're doing it at just breathtaking speeds.
So there you have it. We've seen how Pandas can take that chaotic, jumbled mess and turn it into clean, structured, valuable insight. We've looked at its superpowers, and we've seen how it's the star player in a whole ecosystem of tools. The Toolbox is officially open. The tools are right there, in your hands. So now, the only question left to ask is, what data are you going to transform?